ye juma no so send a bear almost umbre. As a obi ye juma no bra, oba say or the mistake. Obi ye juma no bra, or your mistakes baby. As a juma no yan wabre, nti. I had to say pressure one so nti. The oyaman in Yanano na afide. Or no so ye mistake. But or ye juma ba embrofo ye juma sa. Or ye juma want to be 30 minutes or ye pause. Or pause for a 5 minutes be no asambe to aso. Or to aso no crano or obi take you over and zano asaba. Nti yem prepare. And only your biggest problem I have.
That's what he's telling us. We have to prepare. He thinks that the preparation on the part of the Ghana embassy from Berlin was insufficient to carry out a successful process to enable people not waste too much time waiting to have their turn.
Then why should I be here?
Wait a minute. Because I can't be ready to always go through it. I have to say, if you have headache, and you say, even if I complain to the doctor and he gives me the drugs or the medication, I still have my headache. Yeah. Then don't complain you have the headache. Think it that the headache is normal. It's a normal condition. And suffer it. You understand?
The issue that we have is we don't want to face the reality of life. The reality is, just say the truth and just live it, whether it takes or not.
Just speak your mind and hope that whoever is in charge will get to know it and address the issue. That's why there are leaders. That's why you have leaders. Your leaders hear you, and they, yesterday people were complaining there's no water here. People come here from morning till evening. Today there's water. Today there's drink.
Okay.
So it means that somebody is listening. You understand? So speak and hope.
My problem is why is it that some forms are being filled? Some are given appointments. Then the person comes and the person is being told that you are not your name is not in the list. Why? Why should it happen? So the person will waste his or her time to be here. Yeah, why?
You have given the appointment for the person to come.
This is Radio Top Africa. I have this lady here with me. About person country and now Obeka Brofo. Okay. Any I'm assuming fan I'm assuming go straight. Ebia. Oba has a ene oba yeding.
Meba has a meba boy, meba be any pass. Because ya filling the forms are ABBA. Yes, and the baba ye ni bibia ba ya almost say ni dini listen so. Ye tuesi kai bibia we almost ni dini listen so from an apart till this time. Me da wa hanom ti. Me come and pay for say bibia no. It should be on point. Yeah, it shouldn't be like your name is on the list and or your name isn't on the list, so you should go away. Then we will send you a message to tell you when you could come or something.
So your problem is the list.
Yeah, and what I'm saying is, the way things are done with Ghanaians is still not proper. It's not good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How old is your baby?
He's 2 months.
How long have you been here? What time did you get to this location? Where
we came here around 10.
10 in the morning, and what's the time now? 10 in the morning is now 15 after 6, and you're still here with your 2 months baby.
Yeah.
Anyways, and have they done the passport for you?
At first we were told it's not gonna be possible, but when we went inside, because the papa also needs a passport, so he spoke with the president, and the president said, okay, he could consider doing it for him. So that's.
But your name is not on the list. When you came, your name is not. Why do you think your name is not on the list? Where is the problem?
The problem should be from you people, because we don't know anything. Yeah. I said, yes, it's from the authorities.
But do you know that? Let me tell you the people that are in charge for this thing. You have a consular office here. Yeah. The consulate is here, Lübecker Straße. And then you have the Ghana embassy in Berlin. Yeah, now, the two work together hand in hand to make sure that issues like yours are addressed. So, me, I'm not part of them. I'm just a volunteer. I'm working with them today as a volunteer.
I know. I know.
So where do you think the problem is coming from when it comes to wow buy listeners? No, where do you think the problem is coming from? And I've spoken to a few of the officials at Ghana Embassy Berlin by say when you go to the consulate office at Lübecker Strasse and you pay the money, then they will put the names together and bring the names to them. Now, before they were coming, they worked on your forms. Type your computer. So it take you 1 hour before they will finish putting your details inside.
Why?
They worked on all of you. How many leaves do you have on your form? Form no paper na
It's about 4 or 5. I'm not counting.
4 or 5 leaves, and they have how many questions are there on a page? More than 10 questions. So one person has to sit down and type all these things in there. They are saying the list they got is what they are coming to work on. Yeah. That's what I'm asking you. Who do you think is at fault, and how can this issue be addressed?
For now, I don't know, because you are telling me that it's some of the consulate. They put all things together.
Put the names together, send it to Berlin.
Yeah, because you got the forms there. Then they told us to pay the money through the bank account.
Okay.
We did it yesterday.
And you paid?
Yeah, we paid it.
So who do you think forgot to enter your name?
I don't know.
Okay, so she doesn't know. Yeah. Now, this is one of most of the cases that we have. People coming here and being told their names are not on the list, but they have been told they have a termin maybe on a Wednesday, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, but they come here and realize their names are not there. In that case, I would want to speak to the man that is in charge of the consulate in Hamburg, Lübecker Strasse, to clarify this issue. Because, sir, Mr. Müller, I have about 30% of the people saying that I was told to come here on 21st, I was told to come here on 22nd, I was told to come here on 23rd, but my name is not on the list. What is the problem?
In many cases, the problem is, the first question I would ask, who told them that? That's point number 2. The second problem was that there was actually and truthfully a bit of a confusion between the dates when the files were going to be sent or registered in Berlin and the times when we could take the files. Because what I did, I was told cutoff date would be the 12th. I took the cutoff date the 12th. I sent the data to Berlin. But then a lot of people kept on coming after the 12th. In other words, we had a sudden huge influx of people with difficulties in the 2 weeks before the people came here. And I tried to select the women with children, ill people, old people who could not travel, people with waiting for passports for longer than 8 months, and tried to put them into the original list, into the 150 people who would be dealt with here. And I discovered on the second day here that many of these people were not taken into the master list. That has been a great... And this is a problem that will not happen again because of a number of changes that, on the basis of this experience, the embassy has said there will be new measures introduced in Hamburg and new measures introduced in Berlin.
Okay, so the problem is when I look on the list that the people have to, the first process where you have to go check your name, check your documents before you go in there for the process. I see there's a list. We have a list for those people who have an appointment on 21st, which is the Wednesday. We have those who are on the 22nd, which is the Thursday, and those for the Friday, which is the 23rd, the last day actually for this operation that Ghana Embassy in Benin came for. Yeah. And then on the last page, we have the privilege list. So the privilege list is the people who came later after you had sent the data.
Yeah, and not only that, a lot of the people who were in the days before were also from times later than the cutoff date that was mentioned by Mr. Anoum. Okay. But I thought of the cutoff date as just something, I need data by that time that I can start work with. And I figured that until 1 or 2 days before they come here, I would be able to take the data of cases like some of the cases that you have here to be able to deal with them. And then an additional problem came up with the fact that the Tuesday was cancelled for good reason, and we were informed of that officially only at noon on Tuesday.
Okay.
Good. In other words, there have been difficulties in the communication between the various bodies active in Hamburg and the embassy, and there has also been an agreement that this is going to be improved and massively improved in the next while. This has been agreed upon with Mr. Anoum.
Okay, let me get this straight. So most of the people who will be unable to get their passports done are people who had their appointments on the 20th, which is the Tuesday.
Yeah. A lot of the
Who
people-
were forwarded.
And what Mr. Katri did in this particular case, he simply took the people from the Tuesday list, put them onto the Friday, called them all up, or called most of them up, and told them, please, you can't come today because the people are not here. Come on Friday, which was a quick and dirty solution, but there was no other possibility at that time. But the problem is actually that there has been not enough communication between Hamburg and Berlin.
So that's where most of the problem is coming from.
I see most of the problems coming from, and there are going to be massive improvements in that section, and we hope to service the Ghanaian community better in future.
All right, then. So this is still Radio Top Africa reporting. I would want to talk to one of the gentlemen. I would want to talk to one of the gentlemen from the Ghana Embassy in Berlin to address the issue. I just spoke to Mr. Müller, who is actually the consulate at in Hamburg, located in Lübecker Straße, and he was talking about the miscommunication between the consulate in Hamburg and the Ghana Embassy in Berlin, which will be addressed in order not for such cases to happen. One thing he said was that the people who were booked for Tuesday, which is the 20th, were forwarded to Friday, but what we published on Top Africa website, www.topafrica.com, was that they were coming on 21st. So I have to clarify this, whether the Ghana Embassy in Berlin was supposed to be here on 20th or they were supposed to be here on 21st. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Tell us your name, sir.
My name is Nana Donko.
Nana, will you sit up and give us macho voice, because the people are watching you. They'll be listening to what you're saying. Nana, my problem is you are with the Ghana Embassy in Berlin, so you would better explain the whole issue and what is happening. I just spoke to the consulates who are here in Hamburg, and they're saying that the Ghana Embassy was supposed to be here on 20th, which is the Tuesday, but they couldn't come, so they had to forward all the applicants who had the termine on 20th to Friday, which is the 23rd. Aside that, there's another list called the privilege list, out of which most or all of them were not attended to because their names are not on your data. What happened?
Yeah, actually, the whole issue is that we were supposed to leave Berlin on the 20th and arrive here on the 20th so that we start working on the 21st. So it was just a misinformation to the best of my knowledge. So we're supposed to start working on the 21st, and then work on 22nd, and then work on 23rd. And as you've seen and known during this exercise, you realize that even sometimes we worked up to 8 o'clock and sometimes 9 o'clock in the evening because we do our best to give our services to everybody who came. Then the issue with those who were part of the list and then the privilege list, the issue is that we can only access data that we have retrieved from our server from Berlin, which is connected to Accra. And then when we have that information, we carry it to whichever station we are going to, which means if we are coming to Hamburg, we carry it to Hamburg.
Meaning that when you are coming to Hamburg, the information that you got from the consulate in Hamburg is what you came with.
That is the information that we get. Let's say, let's assume we have 150 people that are registered here in Hamburg. Then we retrieve 150 names, which are filled from Berlin. So as long as we come to Hamburg, we can work for 150 people and not more.
And not more. Okay, so let me look for reactions from the people. Mame bisa wasem tesia wa explaining bibi atre me say Ghana Embassy Berlin say ebia say Ghana consulate na wa ha no. Oseni nipa 100 din a omo free Berlin ba no mo nim say nipa 100 na omba be ye omo ho adwuma. Enti say omo ba ha na wa ukotua a usika late. Ana na owo termin before omo ba no na ye ka kire o se twen menko no omo ba no na che say wo no onka 100 ne ho a yentimi nye ma wo e de na wo ka fa ho.
Why should the consulate here?
Okay.
Yeah, because if you told me at first that you are in connection with them.
Exactly.
So if 100 people are coming, and if the consulate here also says like I have 10 or 15 people that should be here, you should have combined it together before telling them to come, or everything should be combined.
So the communication between the two was the problem. The communication is very poor. That is very right. Now that's one of the issues. Now it looks as if I'm getting to the bottom of the whole issue. Now Mr. Müller, who is actually with the consulate in Hamburg, says that, well, they did their best to send the information. Now some of you came late. Some of the people in Hamburg came later after he has sent the data. And then he thought he wanted to help you. So he thought maybe when you come around, they could address the issue. So he told you, come and see whether you can get it down. Until he also found out that they had a data. So they cannot start the whole process for those new people whose data were not sent to Berlin before they came from Berlin. This is the issue. So in actual sense, you can see that this man was only, the man from the consulate, Mr. Müller, who helps his wife to do the work there. And we should appreciate this man because he's working freiwillig. He's not being paid. He's helping us. He's just spending his time to help his wife, to help you. And what he wanted to help you with is that if you came late, he thought they could do it for you. So he said, come. Maybe they could do it for you. So this is where the problem is coming from. The inability of him to get them the data because they had already finished is the problem. Exactly. So that's basically the problem. So he was telling me that they know their faults, they know their problem, and the Ghana embassy in Berlin
We don't respect time.
Come and talk to me. What do you mean by we don't respect time?
Everything should be punctual. Like if I have an appointment like 3 o'clock, it shouldn't be after 3 or 4 or 5. There should be, because we in Europe, everything is with time. Yeah,
I get you. So when I came here, I spoke to some of the officials inside there, and they said that, it takes time to process one person. It takes time.
No. For example, here in Europe, when you go to an office, if you have an appointment like 3 o'clock, at least by 3:15, you'll be there to do whatever you are supposed to do.
So you think that they should also be time conscious? Yeah. Okay. What do you want to say to us?
To ask how late did they send the data? Because I did mine on the May, and as of June, my name wasn't on the list.
You did. You applied for the form and paid in May.
Yeah.
And as of June, your name was not on the list.
So when did they send the data to Berlin? That my name wasn't included. I want to ask.
Okay, so that's a question coming from a very young girl who has a very cute 2-month-old baby. She has also been here the whole of today. Now you want to talk to me. So there was this beautiful woman who has wonderful twins.
Talking about them considering us, I think it's the best, because yesterday, for instance, I was about coming here. My ticket was ready. Everything was set. I was like an hour journey from here.
Okay.
And everything was okay with me. I wanted to come.
I appreciate it that they're coming to Hamburg, so I don't have to go to Berlin. So I appreciate it. So I think I just have to wait. And
after I spoke to the consulate from Hamburg here, and also the Ghana embassy from Berlin personnel who works with them, he was saying that there was a miscommunication between the two. What do you advise between the two of them so that this miscommunication that happens, or it's a disadvantage to the people and not them? No, what should they do? What should they do about it to ensure it doesn't happen again next time?
I think they should guess less and talk more.
Very short and simple. So the communication between Ghana Embassy Berlin and the consulate in Hamburg, meaning that they should communicate more, every bit of every information. I wish you all the best, and I think you're very lucky for spending 2.5 hours, and you're going to get it done, Auf jeden Fall, because you have all your documents, right? What of those who don't have the right documents? Some people were sent home because it's either their document is not right or they don't have everything. What do you think is the problem? Is it still the fault of the consulate?
No, it's not the fault of the consulate because it's all stayed in online. But if you don't know that it stayed on online, then you have to ask.
So people have to also ask questions. Okay, so if the consulate and the Ghana embassy guess less and talk more, then you also as individuals should also ask questions when you don't know. Thank you so much for talking to us. We are concluding the report coming live from Berlin Tor, where the passport issues that were being addressed by the Ghana embassy were being attended to. Now it's right about 5 minutes after 8:30, meaning that it's about 25 minutes to 9 o'clock, and we are still here. Officials from Ghana embassy in Berlin are still around. They're still attending to people. But funny enough, the people they are attending to happen to be those that did not have their names on the list. The complaints that we had before, that some people said their names were not in the list. I have one of them here. I'm going to ask her, how come she doesn't have her name on the list, but her passport has been done? Your friend saying?
A friend is Victoria Kodom.
Victoria Kudom, I'm saying, no, kasa dada. Na o kase uchuya ye kache o se umbra o termin. Waba Wednesday, waba Thursday, waba Friday. 3 days ni na Ghana embassy for eba Hamburg hano. Oba so oba fitiana pa kosi enwumre wo ne obey. Wo san so wo ma wo fie wo jom wo fie ne wa jam ma obi ne ye frefre nti wo de ne senka enya de a obetimi akọ ye Berlin no. Na mehwe a mo ka akire no mo ye be 6 7 mo ye 8 mudin any list ni mu but munya abotre etna se twen yam mu wi obi ade e de na ba ye na ma ye ma o
ye wo munyina de ewie ye nya abotre trans na ye obi ade ewie no ye ni 8 no o mato o mo bo aye de ama ye kama sisi a me nsa ka me de o ma anya abotre no mu kọ ye ni nya abotre trans ya mo ye mudin wo buku ye o mu de ewie o ma ye nso ye nyina de ama ye nyina obi ni ache
enti na se omo nya abotre na omo antwen no na omo kọ no ye omo loss ebi omo twen yanka be ya ma
be ya ma wo mo because sister na me ne te wo no wo say wo come to nya abotre because wo see na wa ankwa adwuma absent na nya di wawie eti nya abotre ne yentwen si da bi ye se me nkodam ti nya abotre omo wi a ebia na omo di ahyem kan wanfi okọ tim de menya abotra twen me je omkola wo fie ba ko hyemeche wo ha ma adwene so still ma twen
se na first na ora ho se wani age
wo se de mani age
ede na opese wo ka kire Ghana embassy eye papa na oda enim no eye consular no Mr Enum ede na opese wo ka kire no
ka kire wo se nyankopon hira wo mo nkoso nya ne sa adwen pa wo mutim mo fa sa na ntemaye
efuto be na de be ma omo ye ka se omudin nim na omugya hokọ ene futo be na de be ma
futo am de ma omo so de bibia ya abotre na ya omunya twen honhom ye pa because me be wo ha me obi ehu me be ye ha me o me ka se nyina wo ha me wo fro o din samone na me kukuru ni nyina me nya twen honhom 3 days ni nyina e de atwen ma me nsa ka me bibia sa menya sister ba ko bi so no so ne me kasa ye o ka se osre yen consider ne na yenye ma na ne ba ne nya 2 months ne ba 2 months ono so ya ma madam wo de ya ma o Yaya ma kasa that's asa sisi a wo stress ntumi nkasa na yaya ma
but time na you see emergency so na kwan wadodo
sister you pedifudi usi yen consider na yaya ma we na fe de time no so wa yes an twimbe chiri. Okay, she's one of the people who were complaining. She has a 2-month-old baby, but finally it has been done for her. So apparently here we just have I think there are about 2 or 3 people inside there. Ghana embassy in Berlin is still working. It's right about 8:39, if I'm right, or 8:38. And I mean, for them to work round the clock from the hours of 9:30, 10 a.m. till now, that's more than 8 hours. They're still here working on people. I think it has come to a successful end. Almost all those that did not have their names on the list but waited have had their passports done for them. They are all smiling. They are all happy leaving. And I think, Ghana Embassy has done a great job. At the end of the day, 3 days is over. Today is the 23rd of June, Friday. Ghana Embassy is done with their work in Hamburg. So those of them that were unfortunate to get it done have to get a new appointment and go all the way to Berlin. This has been Afia reporting live for Radio Top Africa 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 Live for Radio Top